That's right, guys. We're doing a little jump back today and we're reviewing an older game, Left 4 Dead, the Game of the Year edition that was on the Xbox 360, and I'm playing it on the Xbox One, and I just wanted to give my little insights about it. And you're probably wondering why Left 4 Dead. Well, honestly, it's because I'm doing a bunch of RPGs right now. I'm going over Final Fantasy IX on the Switch, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I'm trying to finish up Octopath Traveler. And these take hours and hours and hours of time to finish. So, Left 4 Dead it is! So the point of Left 4 Dead is to basically survive the apocalypse. And you can do that starring one of these four fabulous characters, baby. Louis, Bill, Zoe, and Francis. That's right, you're in a movie. Or are you not? I'm not certain, and doesn't actually tell you, but it gives you a movie poster to make you feel like you are. And it's actually kind of cool. Complete, by the way, with their own cheesy slogan, like this one says, curing the infection one bullet at a time. And yeah, so you star in a movie or not, and basically try to survive the apocalypse by going through various checkpoints in each campaign. So now let's talk about the campaign, because it's kind of interesting. There's not technically a lot of variation in the campaigns. You literally go from point A to point B and you get a checkpoint. And then from point B to point C and you get a checkpoint. And you keep going, like I said, until you get to the end. In the No Mercy campaign, you have to summon a helicopter, and when that helicopter comes, you'll have to deal with waves of enemies and hold off until the helicopter arrives, and then you all have to try to get on the helicopter. It's the best part of the campaign, man. I love the end part. It's absolutely fantastic. But like I said, there's not a lot of variation. Each campaign you choose, you basically have to do the exact same thing. You go from point A to point B, from point B to point C, and so on and so forth until you get to the end. And in a lot of ways, that can feel a little bit repetitive. But it doesn't feel that repetitive for me, just due to the fact that the campaign is awesome. And when you play with other players and not AIs, and I'll talk about the AIs in a second, because, ooh, they piss me off. It always feels like a new experience despite the environments in the world not being that new. You don't know what your players' buddies are going to do. I had a player one time that freaked out so much he threw a Molotov on all of us and burnt us all to death. It pissed us off at first, but then we could look back and laugh at it. That's the beauty of Left 4 Dead. It's a game that is meant to be played with other people. Also, at the end of each section, you get stats, where they show you, hey, here's the person that killed the most. Here's the person that took the least amount of damage. You can kind of have it sort of be a fun challenge amongst your buddies and see who did the best during that time. I like this. I think this is a really nice formula. Even if it is simple, they executed it really well in this game. So let's also now talk about the controls, because the controls are a little bit weird. They take a little bit of getting used to, just because when you play as many shooter games as I do, you kind of get thrown off when the first thing you realize is that Left 4 Dead has its own set of controls. For example, to swing and punch an enemy is with the left trigger, and not what you normally would think it is. And you can't zoom in with any of your weapons unless you have a sniper, but then you have to push in on the right control stick to do that. So it takes some getting used to, and if you really want to know when it comes to performance about this game, the best way to play Left 4 Dead is in fact on the PC. That's right, on Steam, all that good stuff. For all you PC Master Race people, there you go. There's your little shout out. It is better just because it all handles really well on PC. It runs smoother. You can customize your controls in a billion different ways. It's nice for that. But I'm playing the Xbox 360 version, and you know what? It plays great on here as well. It's not that big of a deal. But the best thing about Left 4 Dead are the special infected. As you get probably just seen on the screen, there was a guy that sticks his tongue out, known as the Smoker, that will pull enemies. You've got hunters that try to pounce on you. You've got those boomers that will spit on you. That's where that green toxic stuff was covering me, which summons a bunch of common infected to be unleashed at you. But then you get the tank. This guy right here, baby, is super scary. He's very intense. He likes to show up at certain points in times, and he's a tough bad boy to take down, man. Your team better team up, because the tank is vicious. I hate this guy, but he's not the worst. The worst special infected in this game are those dang dirty witches. As a matter of fact, witches might be the most terrifying zombie I've ever encountered in any game. So what does a witch do? A witch basically gives a nice, creepy, wailing sound that lets you know that it's nearby. You have to turn off the lights because if you look at a witch while your flashlight is on, it will come after you, and you don't want a witch to come after you. And I'll show you why here on my gameplay, but you'll just see that it's intense. Also, when you get really close to it, you'll start hearing some creepy chorus girls singing in the background just to add the tension, and you try to locate the witch. It kind of becomes almost a mini game of where's the witch at, can we avoid the witch? And in some cases you absolutely can't. Like in my case here, I had to at some point take care of the witch because I could just see it being a problem. And the witch can be mean. It's a one hit to knock you down on normal difficulty, and on any difficulty higher than normal it will automatically kill you. Now I'm playing on normal thankfully, but just watch this clip and you'll see what I'm talking about with the witch and how intense this gets. And that, my friends, was half a second away from death. Woohoo, baby, I love it. I love the witch. I think the witch is such a great addition to this game. It's just unfortunate you can't play as the witch in multiplayer. Not that you would be able to. Anyways, that wouldn't make sense. But speaking of multiplayer, I didn't show any multiplayer gameplay in this review. After all this playing, I realized I didn't show any of it, and I'm sorry. But the multiplayer allows you to play as these special infecteds, as the hunter, the smoker, even the tank. You can play as all these guys, and it's really fun because what you do is you do the exact same thing you do in a campaign, but there's a scoring system, and you and 3 of your buddies takes on another group of 4, and you alternate between the infected and the humans, and it's really, really fun. I do wish there were a little bit more multiplayer modes in this game, but that alone, just being able to play as a zombie and trying to kill the humans is awesome. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and the biggest gripe I have with this game, are the AI counterparts. If you don't have buddies and you have to play this game with them, they are very stupid. They're great shots, don't get me wrong, they have no problem killing special infecteds, but look at what happens when the smoker drags me down here. As you can see, instead of just jumping down, which they could have done, they choose to, all 3 of them, go together and run around the entire building in the longest way possible to save me. And then what do they do when they get right here? They have to open the door. Eventually they'll kill the smoker, but they'll leave you dead. And sometimes it'll be really bad. Sometimes they'll be right next to you, literally right next to you while the smoker or the hunter is on you, and they won't get you up. They are stupid at the worst moments. And while yes, they will heal you, and yes, they're good shots, I just sometimes have to take it out on them just a little bit. Shoot them a few times in the head and stuff because they are so frustrating. Like I said, if you can, play this game with humans, because while humans will shoot you and all this stuff accidentally, and sometimes they are in fact toxic, they're not as dumb as the AIs. The AIs will piss you off time and time again, and that's just how it is. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, while I murder Zoe in a brutal fashion because the AI constantly pisses me off and I had to take my aggression out on one of them, is the fact that there are no melee weapons in this game. None at all. You don't have a machete, you can't get a chainsaw or a baseball bat or anything like that, and it's kind of weird. I don't know why that's not included. It feels like that should be here because you can actually swing, like I said. You can swing a gun and you can punch and all that good stuff, but all it does is push the zombies back a little bit or help to relieve someone if they're captured by a hunter or a smoker. That's it though. I don't know why it's not included, but it should have been in this game. So let's go ahead and give this game a letter grade. And guys, I give letter grades simply because I can. A being the best, F being the worst, and Left 4 Dead is one of the best zombie shooters you can play. I absolutely loved it from head to toe, although I do wish there were a little bit more variations in the campaign. I wish it had melee weapons, and I wish the AIs were just a little bit smarter, you know what I'm saying? But with all that in mind, guys, Left 4 Dead gets an A-, and it earns it because it's so much fun. Alright guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I do random reviews all the time on this channel. And now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta take my anger out on one of these guys, and Zoe, You pissed me off the most, so you gotta go, girl. You gotta go. I'm Bradley Overrated, out like a trout. Take care, guys.